I'm Maddie Levitt. I'm 19, and I've dealt with suicidal ideations and attempts for a really long time. And during that time, for a lot of it, I was kind of trying to keep it quiet. Like, I didn't really want anybody to know because I didn't want anybody to think that I was broken or weak. But through sharing my story, I found a lot of strength. I think suicide's a very real issue, and I think we need to stop pretending like ignoring it is going to make it go away. It needs to be talked about. So we're going to start right here with this. Woo!
I'm Emma Levitt, and I'm 21 years old.
Britton Levitt, and I'm 12 years old.
I am Mackenzie Walk. I am 22.
Tiffany Levitt, 46 years old.
Don Levitt, 49.
I'm Bryce Spalding, and I'm 19.
My name is Bonnie, and I'm 22 years old.
My name is Emily Walk. I'm 22 years old.
I'm Jamie Spalding, and I am 42.
How have you been affected by suicide?
I lost 2 friends in high school to suicide. And then while I was serving a mission for the LDS Church, I lost an aunt to suicide, and then shortly after, an uncle. And then I'm the father of a suicide attempt survivor.
3 out of the 4 of me and my sisters have all attempted suicide, at least once. I've attempted twice, and I've been involved with a lot of friends attempting.
First, I didn't really know much about it, and I always remember just waking up and Mom and Dad coming home with you, saying you went to the ER. It was a lot to take in as an 8-year-old.
I personally have, by myself, I guess. And also, like, a lot of people in my family and close friends have also suffered from suicidal thoughts.
I've had an uncle die by suicide, and I've attempted many times.
I personally struggled with suicide ideation pretty seriously for about 6 years on and off. But I also saw it in a lot of friends.
Me personally, struggling with suicidal ideation and suicidal thoughts for probably the majority between 17 and 19-ish.
Okay.
And then just off and on outside of that.
A couple of ways, actually. Jeff's brother just suddenly came up missing, and they were able to find him, and he had committed suicide. All the emotions that go with that, and all the pain and the heartache that you see happen with families after that happens, just hung around for a long time, and I was so angry. It's like, why would you ever do this? Why don't you see what's happening to your family? I tried to really watch in my kids for depression and anxiety. I didn't realize it wouldn't look the same. One night he says, "Mom, I've got to go to the hospital, and not just the emergency room, but inpatient." And I said, "Okay, let's go." I was probably in a little bit of shock, a lot of shock, because he's my baby, and I don't want him to hurt. He's doing better. He's doing a lot better than he was. He's smiling now. I'm seeing Bryce back.
How have your experiences impacted your life moving forward?
I don't take things for granted anymore. I find a lot of gratitude in my everyday now. And on the nights that are really hard, or when other friends are having really hard nights, I am able to help find more beauty in life.
If someone is struggling, I can help them.
Kind of forces you to look at the little things. Like, you need to find appreciation in anything you can.
I think it's made me worry more about my children, probably more than I should, which is probably a little irritating to them sometimes. I'm trying to do better at that. But I think it's also made me more of an advocate for mental health awareness and removing that stigma so that people can talk about it.
I live with the reality of the possibility of suicide every day. And even though I'm very grateful and very happy that she didn't succeed and that she's still here and that she's thriving and that we still get to enjoy our relationship, every day there's a little bit of fear I have to conquer that she'll try again. There was still a little bit of the naive, it'll never happen to me. But now it has.
My experiences have given me more of like an understanding as to like what people are going through and kind of more of an understanding like how to help them. And I guess it's made me a little more empathetic. So
I have a greater appreciation for living now. When you're in the middle of it and you feel like there's no way out, when you finally are able to kind of like take a breath and see the light at the end of the tunnel, as they say, you have this greater appreciation for the good, and you start to see a lot more of it.
It really made me have an appreciation for my own life. Before, like literally the only thing that kept me around is because my parents had just paid thousands of dollars to get my back fixed. They paid thousands of dollars to get my mouth fixed. And I'm like, oh, if I kill myself, that's a waste of money. I don't think that way at all. I think I have this great future, and I wouldn't have that appreciation, I don't think, if I hadn't dealt with those things.
I realized that it's not going to look the same for everybody.
What advice would you give someone dealing with suicidal thoughts?
I would tell them to feel it, know that those feelings are real, but to know that it does get better. You know, deal with that pain and fight. Just fight to make it another day.
Talk to someone.
Once you open up about it, it's a big weight. Even if it's just talking to a friend.
You're loved, you matter, we need you here. When people are afraid to talk about it, then it breeds and it gets worse and worse. So if we can get to a point where it can be talked about just like physical ailments and physical illnesses, I think that's going to help a lot of people and make it a lot easier to overcome.
just to remember that you don't have to act on those thoughts, because those thoughts will come and go and you don't have to do anything about them. Like, you don't have to act on them, but it's best to get help and deal with them.
Have patience with yourself, most of all, with the people around you too, and life. I think if you hit it with patience, you get through it a lot easier.
Just wait. I never knew how great my life was going to be, because it is really great. And I never knew that. I would never have predicted my amazing husband, my amazing friends and family, and the amazing opportunity to become a mother. I would have never thought I could get there. Finding something to believe in and love immensely outside of yourself is a big deal.
Open up. Don't keep it inside.
It's not enough to talk to someone. You have to have the courage to talk to someone who has the ability to stop you.
What advice would you give someone with a loved one dealing with suicidal thoughts?
Just be a listening ear. They don't need your advice.
Talk to them, make sure they're okay, and just help them.
Find support. Make sure you have somebody you can talk to too. I mean, it's going to change your relationship, but it doesn't have to make your relationship strained. Be willing to talk about anything without judgment, without reservation. Just be willing to listen and to talk.
Helping them discover for themselves how loved they are, how cared for they are, and what a loss it would be if they succeeded.
I'd encourage them to seek professional help and just keep around them. Make sure they don't push you away.
Just listen.
Take people seriously. Listen. You need to be there for them.
and be willing to listen.
Did you ever have like a turning point when it was like suicide just wasn't an option anymore?
An old friend of mine got pregnant. That was always something I wanted. I always wanted to be a mom. Just realizing that was my next stage of life and that was a reality for me. Someday I can be a mom was kind of that turning point for me. Kind of gave me hope.
I stay for my husband and my dog because he'll never understand, and my friends because I don't want to put them through that, and my family.
Yeah, there was a turning point. The second time I was hospitalized, I guess it was around that point that I realized that more of like how it affects like the people around me. I guess I just didn't want that for them. At that point I realized that it wasn't really like a path that I wanted to take or that I should take.
Okay. And tell the best joke you know.
How did the man get
Oh my goodness, you're not bringing that joke back.
a car?
Car. A plus, thanks, Em.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really bad. What did Slytherin say to Gryffindor?
What?
I hate you.
A plus, thanks, Steve.
You have a crush on a bank teller. You grab a sucker and you say, I'm a sucker for you. Write your number on this. You've got a boyfriend.
A guy is in therapy and the therapist asks, so what is the first thing you noticed when someone approaches you? It says the audacity.
Knock knock. Who's there? Control freak. Now you say control freak who?
Yeah.
Pickup lines are overrated, but I want to go on a date.
Okay, A plus.
Hey, Ash, will you hold this for me? Yeah.
Latch on. Don't let go. Don't let go.
Do you have a Band-Aid? Because I scraped my knees falling.
Hey, talk about it. It's good to talk about. It's okay to talk about. It's important to talk about it.
Get up and enjoy life. It's worth it.